evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Farhana Sheh. The distribution of government aids to the people cannot be made under the name or logo of political parties. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said all parties need to adhere to the rules set by the Election Commission during the campaign period for the Pulai and Simpang Jeram by-elections. Anwar reaffirms that party symbols cannot be used because all government aid is from the government, not from specific political parties. Anwar, who is also Pakatan Harapan chairman, said previously the practice was seen by both opposition and government parties. The Election Commission has set tomorrow as nomination day for the two by-elections, while early voting is on September 5th and September 9th is polling day. The by-elections were called following the death of Pulai MP and Simpang Jeram Assemblyman Datuk Seri Salahuddin Ayub on July 23rd. There has been no increase in radioactivity levels detected in the country's waters following the release of treated water from the Fukushima nuclear plant into the Pacific Ocean on Thursday. According to Atom Malaysia, a gamma spectrum water monitoring station had been established in collaboration with the European Union to monitor any increase in radioactivity levels in real time as a precautionary measure. The regulatory body said data from the station is monitored from the National Centre for Nuclear Response Management in Dengkil. Meanwhile, Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Seri Mohammad Sabu said Malaysia has yet to decide whether to impose restrictions on seafood imports from Japan. He said the Health Ministry and environmental experts are reviewing whether there is any potential danger before the government made any decision on the issue. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has confirmed 2 cases of monkeypox in Malaysia. Health Director General Datuk Dr. Razi Abu Hassan said the first case was confirmed on July 26 involving a male foreigner who has been residing and working in Malaysia since April 2022. He said the person travelled to a country with reported cases of monkeypox on July 6th and returned to Malaysia on July 10th. He started showing symptoms 9 days after. The second case, confirmed on July 29th, involves a Malaysian man who is a close contact of the first case. Dr. Razi said there are no other cases other than the 2 patients so far, adding that the second patient did not have any close contacts. All travellers arriving from countries with reported monkeypox are advised to monitor their health daily for the next 21 days from the date of arrival in Malaysia, as symptoms can start showing between 5 to 21 days from the date of exposure. Among the symptoms are fever, fatigue, headache and eczema-like rash that starts on the face, spreading to the palms and soles followed by other parts of the body. Patients may also experience body aches, back or joint pain, muscle spasms and swollen lymph nodes. Suspected monkeypox cases should be reported to the nearest health office via the e-notification system for further investigation and control measures. In other news, the government has not made any decision to increase the price of rice following the halt of exports by certain countries. Acting Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali, says studies are being conducted to maintain the stability of food prices in Malaysia. In the long term, Armizan said efforts were underway to encourage paddy cultivation nationwide. India, the world's largest rice supplier, imposed export curbs last month, causing global rice prices to climb to 15-year highs. Armizan added that the government recognized the need to initiate the growth of other crops for the nation's food security. He said there have also been suggestions to identify suitable locations in the peninsula to reintroduce sugarcane cultivation projects, given that 100% of Malaysia's raw sugar supply currently comes from abroad. The construction of the East Coast Rail Link ECRL project is nearing the halfway mark. Malaysia Rail Link's Sdn Bhd Chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali said the project has achieved 48.77% progress and is on track to be completed in December 2026 for operations to begin in January 2027. Muhammad Zuki, who is the Chief Secretary to the government, said construction work of the National Transport Project are actively being carried out by more than 21,000 workers at more than 1,600 work sites along the line. To date, the dredging work of 25 out of the 40 tunnels in the ECRL construction have been carried out. while the first track laying process between a 90-kilometre stretch from Gebeng, Kuantan to Dungun, Terengganu is scheduled to begin in the fourth quarter of this year. The ECRL project involves the construction of a new railway line spanning approximately 665 kilometres from Kota Baru in Kelantan to the Klang Valley. Telecommunication service providers have been asked to increase internet service speeds on August 31st in conjunction with National Day celebrations. Working Committee Secretary Mazlan Abdul Muttalib says several telcos have begun installing transmitters at designated locations in Dataran Putrajaya. Mazlan said the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission would monitor the situation to ensure good internet service on the day of celebrations. He said this was vital to host the event and ensure a smooth workflow for those on duty. This will be the fifth National Day celebration to be held in Putrajaya, with the previous four being in 2003, 2005, 2018 and 2019. We will go for a quick break. Stay tuned for more.
Wow, banyaknya notification. Dapat banyak soalan ni. I pilih lagi satu. Soalan ni dari Suna Naji. Dia tanya, macam mana nak dapat wifi kencang? Senang je. Kalau berminat, WhatsApp hi ke 0395433838. Lepas tu, pilih nombor 2. Nanti tim kencang jawab. Jangan lupa bagi tahu bajet dengan keperluan isi rumah dulu. Ada berapa pengguna, berapa peranti, itu penting kena tahu tu. Tapi jangan risau, router Wi-Fi 6 ni confirm kencang walaupun 10 orang guna serentak. Power kan? Ada soalan lain? Jangan malu-malu. Layari astro.com.my/fiber untuk info lanjut tentang pack dan promosi terkini.
Welcome back. Former U.S. President Donald Trump surrendered at Fulton County Jail in Georgia, where he had his mugshot taken. He was charged with 13 counts in relation to his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Trump's bail was set at $200,000 US, and he is expected to return at a later date to enter a plea in court. This is the fourth criminal case against him as he recontests in the 2024 presidential elections. He has denied all charges, which includes racketeering and false statements, and maintains that the case was politically motivated. On Wednesday, Trump's former lawyer Rudy Giuliani and other co-defendants surrendered in the same case. Meanwhile, the U.S. Department of Justice is suing rocket and satellite company SpaceX for alleged hiring discrimination. It says the firm, owned by billionaire Elon Musk, had discouraged asylum recipients and refugees from applying between September 2018 and May 2022. According to the lawsuit, SpaceX had refused to hire or consider asylum recipients and refugees due to their citizenship status, which violates the Immigration and Nationality Act. It added that the company had falsely claimed it could only hire U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents due to federal regulations known as export control laws. The DOJ also highlighted an online post from Musk, which claimed U.S. law required a green card to be hired at SpaceX as rockets were advanced weapons technology. The lawsuit seeks civil penalties in an amount to be determined by court and policy changes to ensure SpaceX would comply with the federal non-discrimination mandate moving forward. It is not the first time one of Musk's companies have been accused of discrimination. Earlier this month, a group of former employees filed a lawsuit alleging that Musk engaged in gender, age and racial discrimination. Greek authorities have arrested 79 people suspected of involvement in the wildfires raging across the country. This as Civil Protection Minister Vasilis Kikilia said there had been attempts by arsonists to start new fires on Mount Parnitha near Athens. Fires are currently raging in a forest on Mount Pernita, threatening a national park. The blaze is one of hundreds across the country where wildfires have already killed at least 20 people this week. A major fire front that broke out near the port city of Alexandroupoli on Saturday has become the largest in the EU on record. Earlier this week, the bodies of 19 people believed to be migrants, including children, were found near the Evros region in northeastern Greece. While summer wildfires are common in Greece, the intensity of extreme weather events, including heat waves, has been linked to climate change. With Malaysia's National Day around the corner, we're taking a closer look at what being Malaysian means to the youth. Ranuga Indran from Yayasan Tengku Abdul Rahman shares her thoughts on unity, going beyond patriotic narratives.
As a nation, the Malaysian identity is something that we have yet to develop, if I may say so. I think it's something that needs work needs to be done. This is because I think we're still stuck in a lot of structures of grouping people, for example, by race. Malaysian, Indian, and Chinese, dan lain-lain, right? Which, of course, we can't do without race because it's a very important part of people's identities. But I do think there's a lot of work that needs to go into forming that Malaysian identity collectively. And it's during seasons of, every August and September that we see or consume a lot of patriotic narratives or narratives on unity, which is nice to see, but I think it needs to extend beyond. And this narrative of unity cannot be a Semenanjung-centric narrative, and we need to uplift the voices and identities of our friends in Sabah and Sarawak as well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lim Yang from Architects of Diversity sheds light on several unity challenges in Malaysia and the change youth wish to see.
When we look at the current reality, most of us are third generation Malaysians already. This is a very different reality from the ones that our parents grew up with, than our grandparents grew up with, right? We used to hear narratives of from our parents that racism is not an issue, it's not an issue. But why is it that now, when we look at surveys, right, like for AOD, we did a survey last year, and it's published on our website, and it says that 1 in 2 people, which is 50% of adults really, right, have experienced discrimination, right? So if that is not a pressing enough issue to show that we are facing problems within our society, then is there any more need to further proof, right? So yeah, there is lots of work in terms of change that needs to be done in like diversity, and I think that more people need to have that courage to speak up about it, to address those conversations that often get swept under the rug because it's more polite.
Catch the full conversation on It's About Youth every Friday at 10:30 p.m. only on Astro AWANI. That wraps up AWANI tonight. I'm Fana Sheh. Thank you for watching.
Di sini, kehebatan kembali ke semua 380 perlawanan secara langsung. Di sini, drama tidak terduga, kebangkitan tidak diramal, setiap gol tidak dipersiakan. Di sini, peminat setia berkumpul untuk stream di mana jua. Di sini, kehebatan secara langsung di Astro.
8 selebriti menyambut cabaran si Wira Merah.
That's it, I really cannot anymore.
Kecekalan dan ketabahan jadi taruhan.
Are you ready?
Yes!
Muntah?
Saya nak surrender.
Mampukah mereka meneruskan perjuangan? Real Men Malaysia, Wira Merah di Astro Ria dan Astro Go.
Hello and good evening. I'm Melissa Idris. Welcome to Consider This. This is the show where we want you to consider and then reconsider what you know of the news of the day. The government has announced it will be working towards incorporating the care economy into national development and economic plans. Now, this includes investing in and formalizing care services, which consequently make visible the labor of unpaid care work, which women disproportionately shoulder. Now, joining me on the show today to delve deeper into the care economy, the opportunities it holds and the challenges it may present, we have economist Dr. Haniza Khalid. She was formerly with